the over-under on the number of Bjorn supremacies in the newspapers?
2.
Well, I can give you 2 straight away.
I've already looked at all the back pages.
So, the Bjorn supremacy is the back page of the Irish Independent this morning. They've got Connolly, top right-hand corner, and they've got Jose Mourinho beside him. Things can only get worse for Mourinho. United boss at tipping point, says Miguel Delaney. And Connolly returned fuel speculation. I'm just going to go straight to the other Bjorn supremacy. So it's not on the front of the Examiner. It's inside the Examiner. The Bjorn supremacy is Europe holds all the aces. There you go. I could probably follow that for you there. So the Bjorn supremacy on that one. I'd say there's more than that. Surely some of the tabloids have it too, no?
There is. I didn't really think that you'd actually kind of skew things by going into inside the newspaper. Like the Star have the Bjorn supremacy on the back of their thing. I wonder, does anybody consider the Bjorn identity or the Bjorn ultimatum or the Bjorn legacy? The Bjorn legacy, perhaps?
Very underrated, is it?
Well, as a headline, is there a legacy from this? Perhaps. It certainly would have got me more chin stroking than the Bjorn supremacy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Is there a legacy from the supremacy, I guess?
I mean,
the question.
Who knows? Who can ever tell if there's any legacy ever from the Ryder Cup?
Probably the answer is no.
So look, the Ryder Cup was yesterday. I wanted the Yanks to win like four or five early matches to turn it into something good. Because that's when it's like, it justifies sitting in your pants watching TV all day.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I didn't really need much of a reason to justify that yesterday. But I think the match winning, or the championship winning, Ryder Cup winning match up yesterday was John Ram. Like, obviously it'll go down in the history books as Francesco Molinari having won the Ryder Cup, and of course he was Europe's outstanding player. But I was thinking yesterday, when Tiger Woods had got it back to all square after being 2 down against John Ram on whatever it was, the 13th hole perhaps, that was when I thought, right, okay, we could actually be in for a very nervous finish, because Tiger Woods is now going to win this match. And then suddenly he didn't. John Ram won the next 2 holes, went back 2 up himself, and Tiger Woods, looking like the old man that Paul McGinley mentioned there, looking like the seasoned veteran that had been taken down by the wily youngster.
Yeah.
So had just come along, his hero Tiger Woods, taken him down, brought him down a peg or two from his win at the Tour Championship the previous week, and won that match. And that was the reason why the Europeans could look around the course and say, well,
doesn't matter now.
Doesn't matter now.
Well, so it was exactly around, but Poulter around about the same time was kind of up and down against Dustin Johnson. I mean, McGinley was like, did Johnson look as impressive as he does on the PGA Tour? And I mean, he was dropping the ball in from 60 feet with alarming regularity, and then Poulter would just do something in the next hole, stitch it to 5-6 feet and make the putt. That was a really brilliant Ryder Cup singles match, because that's the best in the world against somebody who seems to have dragged himself back to golfing relevance in the last 18 months, out of nowhere, really.
Yeah, it's
maybe
true.
The last 13 months.
Just on the kind of comparisons between the PGA Tour and this particular event, like, I had to do what a lot of people wanted to do yesterday, and I tried to find a stream with Golf Channel, because I wanted to hear what the Yanks were saying and how they were trying to justify this. And I think it was Saturday evening when it became apparent that Europe had a very, very, very good chance of winning the Ryder Cup. They were like, well, you know, the home course advantage is always worth 1.5, 2 points. And then yesterday afternoon turned it on and was like, you know, home course advantage is always worth 4.5 points. So I do wonder at the end, did they justify it to like 7.5 points? Because that is surely the only reason why this crappy European team were able to take down the best USA team of all time. I'm just so happy that those smug Americans are put back in their place. They make me very, very angry.
The golf?
The smug golf American fans. The problem is, the players actually aren't that smug. Now, I previously had a strong dislike for Justin Thomas. Like, I just don't like the cut of him.
Out of nowhere.
Just for no reason whatsoever. But yesterday he was really humble in his victory interview against Rory McIlroy. It might have been to do with the idea that the USA were still going to get taken to the cleaners later on in the afternoon, and he had to stay humble. But I kind of wanted him to be really pissed off or say I was way better than Rory this afternoon, just to try and help that stereotype that I'd formed of Justin Thomas, that he was a bit of an asshole. But it turns out he's actually a pretty nice guy. Most of those USA players are pretty nice guys.
Well, if nothing else happened over the course of this Ryder Cup, then a meeting of the minds between you and Justin Thomas has justified you sitting on the couch for the whole weekend.
Oh, don't worry, I've justified that a long time ago.
So, major US invasion repelled by Europe's irresistible force. This is Malachi Clerkin on the front of the Irish Times. Unity of purpose buries US revival. It's hard the day after when everybody's actually watched it and there has been no final day drama for the newspapers to go, how do we make this interesting now again? How do we write like thousands and thousands of words? And like, in fairness, they've done a great job in all the newspapers. They go through the match by match, and then there's great photographs of everything as well. And I think from an Irish perspective, mentioning that Pádraig Harrington is the Ryder Cup captain in waiting, like that'll be good. Harrington going completely crazy in the build-up to it, just being Harrington and as obsessive as he is, and then going over to America and raising America to the ground.
Yeah, Whistling Straits in 2 years' time, that'll be a good one. And then it's Italy, in 4 years' time? The homecoming of Francesco Molinari once again. That storyline, you can already get your typewriter out and start writing that storyline for 4 years' time.
And then so it's 4 years in Italy and then 8 years in JP, is it?
So yeah, that's yet to be confirmed. So,
well, I know, but like everybody,
it's looking all but confirmed. But maybe they want to continue this intercontinental tour, this continental tour, I should say, from Paris to Italy, maybe to wherever they hold the Spanish Open, or wherever tends to frequent, or whatever.
Catalonia would have been the...
Yeah, like it was an exceptional event from a television perspective. Anyway, it looked epic, and I think that was helped by the fact that it was in the Golf Nacional. It was just, it was sort of this very corporate setup that was just perfect for the Ryder Cup. That the whole traditional setup, maybe the Ryder Cup has moved beyond that, and maybe we should embrace this new corporate future that the Ryder Cup kind of holds, and that is its place in golf right now.
Yeah. Okay. So the Racing Post, fresh filly Enable in great shape for Arc follow-up bid. Rivals looking for chinks and hot favourite Enable at the start of Qatar Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe week. We're given little reason for hope yesterday, so apparently Enable is in great form. And then Cherries may struggle to pick off Palace. Bournemouth against Crystal Palace tonight is the game. Stay away. Bournemouth against Crystal Palace, I would say stay away. I did the Irish Examiner, didn't I?
Yeah, stay away from betting wise, or...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, not as an actual...
So there's the Examiner, the front page properly, sorry. In safe hands, Europe thrash USA to regain Ryder Cup inside. It is a nice tiny little trophy when you consider some of these trophies are a bit crap. L'équipe, the front of L'équipe. L'union fait la force. The union makes the force. The force is with the union.
Yeah, I think that's it. But a union that doesn't evolve one single Frenchman, so screw you, L'Équipe, this morning is what I say. Like, we get one over the Americans and we get one over the French. We played golf in your backyard and there wasn't even one of you to play with us. That's how sweet it is this morning. The French and the Americans, probably the two most insufferable bunch of people we kind of take on in a sporting sphere. We get to just kind of rub it in both of their faces. The greatest team of all time, the back page of the Irish Daily Mail, Bjorn hails Ryder Cup heroes, but now he has to get a tattoo. And a controversial penalty keeps Cork in the FAI Cup. Bowes Cork has gone to a replay in the Cup semi. Just to move on
What's the tattoo thing?
I was just about to move on to that here because they lead with that in the Mirror. Incredible. So Captain Bjorn is planning to get a tattoo of score on his backside after Europe stuffed dire Americans, it says on the back page here. So...
Why?
Well, he must have said so. Let me put it this way. It's going to go on a part that only Grace, his girlfriend, will see. I might have to send them a picture, then you'll all see it as well. It was the worst decision I made all week. So he has... it was a pre-match pledge by Bjorn to have the winning outcome inked on his body. So that was a pretty stupid thing to do, is what I would say. Like, at what point does the sort of Al Pacino-esque pre-tournament speech and oration from Thomas Bjorn turn into the point where he's like, oh, by the way, I'll get a tattoo on my arse if we win? Like, I'm sure it was all poetic before that, and then he just kind of, everybody's like, lowest common denominator stuff, Thomas. But we're going to hold you to that. I'm sure that's how it happened. You've also got horrendous there on the back page of the Mirror. Shaw comes clean on Jose's United flops. That's Darren Lewis's story. Diarmuid Connolly leading the way, to no surprise at all, on the back page of the Herald. Deer Hunter, Connolly back on glory trail with St. Vincent's. So St. Vincent's, you suspect, are probably in the driving seat to win the Dublin Championship. Ballymun are out after their surprising loss to St. Jude's at the weekend. You've also got Ballyboden and St. Enda's who are in the mix as well. They beat Castleknock 121-19 Vincent's at the weekend. Connolly came on with about 20 minutes to go. Got a great ovation by all accounts. So that's the back page of the Herald. Back page of the Irish Daily Star is the Bjorn Supremacy, mark number 3. Thomas to get tattoo after Ryder Glory, and Shaw's sorry for Red's display. While the back page of the Sun also goes with Incredibles, Bjorn score tattoo where only we can see, and this is Postman Poulter celebrating history.
Only wife can see.
Only wife can see, sorry. Manchester United exclusive here by Neil Costa saying, Zizou, is it? Zidane's call to Jose has a special one, fearing axe. So Zinedine Zidane called Jose Mourinho to tell him he'd be stabbing him in the back.
So he actually rang him up to say...
No, so what's actually happened here is that, he rang to say, I might take your job one day, but to do so, it was part of an act of kind of camaraderie with Jose Mourinho, because of course Jose was pretty good to Zinedine Zidane. He looked after him at Real Madrid. He got him his first sort of, he pushed him into a career where he'd be on the coaching staff and eventually manager of Real Madrid, rather than one of these corporate hooers, so to speak, that like would have been a fairly cushy number for him at Real Madrid, one of the great corporate numbers you'd imagine in world football. But Jose Mourinho decided that he would take him into football. And
yeah. And lo and behold, he became one of the most successful managers in the history of the game.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we've got Jose Mourinho to thank for the successes in Zinedine Zidane.
Nathan is listening this morning. He's been in touch to say the PGA Tour season is changing next year, so the Tour Championship will finish a month before the Ryder Cup. The Masters is in April, PGA in May, US Open in June, the Open in July, the FedEx Cup in August, and the Ryder Cup is in September. So thanks for clearing that up, Nathan, which means that the Yanks will be less tired the next time round, when poor Park Harrington will be walking into the Lions' Den of a refreshed, relaxed, up for it, vengeance-seeking team of Americans.
Yeah, like that will probably be the sweetest of the sweet. Padraig Harrington was to captain a team in the United States, a team looking for revenge and beat them.
Yeah,
that would just be. You can't.
Second Straits is New York, is it?
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's on Eastern time anyway, but I don't know what part.
That's not too bad. It's actually perfect.
Are you already like timing your television watching schedule for 2 years' time?
Well, I'm just trying to work out, is this a good part of the world to watch that tournament or not? It is. It's perfect.
It's fine. Great Sunday night time. It'll clash with Red Zone, of course.
Yeah, that's not so good.
Not great. A couple of UK back pages. Rhapsody in Blue, says the back page of The Guardian.
That's better. Come on.
Europe regained the Ryder Cup with a crushing victory in Paris, and fuming for the Frontier.
It's a bit arch. I mean, Gershwood reference in the back page of the sports section. It's a bit arch.
It's The Guardian. And so just to mention, it's hunting from the front. Hamilton unhappy with manner of Russia Grand Prix win. I only caught a small bit of this yesterday. Valtteri Bottas was told to get the hell over and let Lewis Hamilton come through to win the Grand Prix yesterday. Of course, Hamilton's like, we wouldn't want to win a race in this manner, and Bottas was clearly unhappy. I do recall, Formula 1 fans may be able to correct me on this, but I do remember a couple of seasons ago, Nico Rosberg was told to do the exact same thing. Oh no, sorry, Lewis Hamilton was told to do the exact same thing so that Rosberg could come through and win a race, and Hamilton went absolutely apeshit. So he should get a lesson or two from how Bottas behaved yesterday, and how to be, a little bit pissed off, but ultimately quite graceful in following team orders. And the front page of the Daily Telegraph sports section is magnifique, how Europe's Ryder Cup band of brothers produced a victory for the ages in Paris.